Hey, Shalom. I'd like to start up with saying, Call Halayim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harikak Wadash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and double honors to our elder apostle as well, our Herawan Banyar Sharala down here in the Lions Den camp. Salutation to the Arkin that are pushing the truth, sincerity, and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. I'm Chanox An Banyar Sharala from the Lions Den Yasharala camp. And this is another Lions Den news and prophecy. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and serve the purpose for the hopeful elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. As you can see from that video, apparently, allegedly, however you want to say it, North Korea got some shit that they want to unleash on America. And another thing I noticed, you ever notice when these other countries like North Korea, China, Iran, Russia especially, when they give these like military parades or whatever, it look like the whole country be there in unison, like together. Especially when they're talking about coming up against the United States of America. These other countries, not only the diplomats or the government hates America, but the citizens of those countries do also. So they've been talking about they got the weapons of mass destruction since George Bush was in office. When he was like, nah, leave Saddam Hussein and Al Qaeda and Osama bin Laden alone. We got him over here. Come check this out. That was Daddy that was the person that's in power now. That was his father. That was on that. You know what I'm saying? He was like he was about whatever. He wanted all the smoke, but they knew not to bring it in his direction. One for one reason it wasn't time for all that, but for two, they didn't want the smoke. You see that? They did not want the smoke. So now, North Korea is allegedly saying that they have what they call a doomsday missile. See that? A doomsday missile. So, first of all, this is another news and prophecy, so we got to start it like this. It's the 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. It says, Speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. And that's why we doing this day in and day out. We got the shift in the universe which got everybody knowing with the 3-eye atlas, not knowing what it is, where it's going. You know, it said on the, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it said on the 29th it's going to be directly behind the sun. They're not going to be able to track it, and they're anticipating what's going to happen when it comes from behind the sun. And the elder was saying in one of his lessons, they have a fleet of. First of all, a 3-eye atlas is a fleet now. They think it's a fleet of whatever it is. It's a fleet, not just one. All right. Not just three at one point in time when they said, but it's like a whole fleet, right? And they said it has. He said also there's comets coming into Earth's orbit, right? And by the middle of next year, they're going to disperse, and it's just going to be the Earth and the whatever this 3-eye atlas thing is, which could be a chariot. We don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now on the Earth that you know what I'm saying, that leads us to believe that's what it possibly could be. A lot of prophecies coming to pass. That's why at 2nd Ezra 15:1 again it says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, because they are faithful and true. Like the word of the Lord is never returned unto him void. All right. So now you saw the clip of the video. It says this article says North Korea displays new long-range missiles at a military parade celebrating Kim Jong Un. Right? It says North Korea state media said the parade featured a new, yet to be tested ICBM called the Hwasong 20. Right? So I went to AI. I ain't talking about Allen Iverson, but this still the answer. It says I asked them what a doomsday missile is. Right? It says a doomsday missile is a theoretical concept of an intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, or doomsday device designed for total global nuclear retaliation, often envisioned as a system that could automatically launch a full nuclear strike in response to an attack, even without human approval. While no signal doomsday missile has been explicitly built to, the concept is a staple of nuclear deterrence theory and appears in both theoretical systems and science fiction, like the Russian dead hand or the perimeter system. All right, that's something totally different. But basically, all right, it said the idea of a doomsday machine also refers to a separate concept of a fixed large-scale thermonuclear weapon that would be triggered to cause mass destruction. That's it. That's what it is. Something that's going to cause mass destruction. Remember that weapons of mass destruction in North Korea have been saying they were having them since the early 2000s. All right. It says at a massive military parade attended by foreign leaders, North Korean leader Kim Jong Un rolled out his nuclear-armed military's most powerful weapons, including a new intercontinental ballistic missile he may be preparing to test in coming weeks. The parade, which began in the rain Friday night at Pyongyang's main square and marked the 80th anniversary of the founding of the ruling Workers' Party, highlighting Kim's growing diplomatic foot and his relentless drive to build an arsenal that could target the continental United States and his rivals in Asia. See that? Who was his rivals in Asia? Japan and South Korea. Why? Because they're allied with the United States. All right. It says North Korea state media said Saturday that the parade featured a new, yet to be tested ICBM called the Hwasong 20, which it describes as the country's most powerful nuclear strategic weapon system. Let me see something. Hwasong. Okay, see. All right. All right. It says how Hwasong translates to Mars. All right. So the Mars 20. I don't know why they picked Mars. I don't know. Maybe it's idol worship or something. But yeah. But anyway, it's the most powerful nuclear system. All right. It says joined by high-level Chinese, Vietnamese, and Russian officials at a podium, Kim said in a speech that his military should continue to grow into an invincible entity that destroys all threats, but made no direct mention of the United States or South Korea. But we all know who they're talking about. He also praised, and you had Russian officials there. What did he say? Russia and China and Vietnamese. You already know America don't want no parts of Vietnam. All right, it says he also praised the thousands of North Korean soldiers he sent to Russia to join its war against Ukraine, saying they displayed a heroic fighting spirit and an ideological and spiritual perfection in a battle for international justice and genuine peace that's going against the West. See that? It says the soldiers included troops Kim had sent to Russia who marched under North Korean and Russian flags as state media hailed them as invincible warriors. North Korea recent years has flight tested a variety of ICBMs that could potentially reach the United States mainland, including missiles with built-in solid propellants that are easier to move and conceal and can be prepared for launch more quickly than the North Koreans' previous liquid fueled missile. The parade saw the the debut of a massive Hwasong 20 with at least three of them wheeled out on 11 axle launcher trucks. The new missile's existence was first revealed in recent weeks as North Korea tested a new solid fuel rocket engine that it said was intended for further future ICBMs. State media said the engine built with carbon fiber is more powerful than past models. Kim has called for the development of multiple multi-warhead systems, 200 million, that would improve chances of penetrating missile defenses, and some experts say that Hwasong 20 could be designed for that purpose. Damn, that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot, boy. I don't think I'm gonna read this whole thing, but I'll put um if I remember I'll put a link to this in the description. But yeah, man, and all this is shaping up to come against who? Babylon. Let's get this. Babylon. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4 says, "Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased?" But Trump said this is the golden age of Babylon. All right? So it says, "The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers." The scepter, the wicked is talking about Europe, EU and NATO, really Esau, but who is the scepter of the rulers? The scepter, the scepter that they're using is America. It says, "He who smote the people with wrath with the continual stroke, he that ruled the ancient nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindered." Right, and that's what all this is going to lead up to. Let's skip down to verse 9. It says, "Hell from beneath is moved to meet thee at thy coming, and stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth, and raise up from the thrones the kings of the nations." See that? See, so all these other nations that America's been forcefully oppressing with the fear of their military, all right, are starting to stay there strong now. All right, and the Lord is rising up all the kings of the nations to come against who? Babylon. That's the take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, against right now Trump. He probably, more than likely is going to be the last administration. All right. Jeremiah 51:1, it says, "Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will rise up against Babylon, against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind." A destroying wind is the missiles, and that's what the Lord is preparing. Will send Babylon unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her. So what does the fanners mean? Fanners mean enemies. See that? So the Lord's going to send a whole bunch of enemies to this place that shall fan her, like scatter her, and shall empty her land for the day of trouble. They shall be against her round about. See that? So mainly to burn this place up. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. Against him that lifted himself up in his brigadine, right, his armor, right. He thinks he protected. "And spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts," all her army, the whole army. All right. It says, verse 4. It says, "Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets." It says, "For Israel has not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power, of the Lord of hosts, through their land, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel." Verse 6, it says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul, be not cut off on her iniquity." And that's very important right there, because, you know, like the devil's having great wrath because he knows that he had but a short time. So this is like crunch time. This is like like 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, man. So we cannot allow ourselves to be distracted by any means to where you know what I'm saying, we could be distracted with all these paths. You know, we like this is it. This is we're like in the 12th grade, and this is the last week of school. And you got to come every day in order to graduate. So don't get your mind out of this place, man. Don't let any leaven come up with them. We always talk about that during around the time of the Passover, but these are the times that we really need to focus on the spirit, especially when these prophecies are popping off like this, because you know what I'm saying. We don't want anything to take us off that path. Not we're too close. You know, we don't want any type of superficial, emotional, carnal, fleshly emotions. You know what I'm saying, to disrupt the reward and the prize that Yahweh Shem Shai have set up for us. It says, for this is the time of the Lord vengeance, and he will render her unto her a recompense. Right? So yeah, so the Lord has a judgment on this place. And if we allow our mind to get caught up in this place, you know, whoever allows their mind to get caught up in this place, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter all the things, how much you prayed and how much you did this in the past. These are the times where it really matters, all the way to the end. Because if you fuck up now, all the things you did in the past don't even matter to the Lord. It's what we're doing now and all the way to the end. Verse 7, it says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations were drunken of her wine, therefore are the nations mad. So the nations were like boasting and being proud. You know, they were boasting right along with America, so that made them foolish. They didn't understand they were being fools right along with the biggest fool. The Lord pitied the fool. See that? It said Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. But there's no place. There's no way for this place to be healed, man. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not. She is not healed. Forsake her. Let us everyone go into his own country. For her judgment have reached unto heaven and is lifted up to the sky. That's all you're going to see is smoke. The Lord has brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our power. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. So this is what we need in order for us to be put back in our own land. All right. This is the point right here. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Those arrows make bright the earth, like getting them ready, purifying, like polishing them. Right? See that? Test or prove. See that? That's what they're doing. They're testing and modifying and critiquing these missiles, man. Gather the shields. The Lord has raised up the spirits of the kings of the Medes and his device against Babylon to destroy it. Right? Who are the Medes? Russia. Who was there at this damn parade? Russia. For his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple, man. See that? See that? So that's what the point I wanted to get into, man. The Lord's going to destroy this place. That's why he's stirring up all these other nations as enemies, and ultimately the one that's going to be going in here and be enough to take this place out is Russia. That's why he said he's lifting up the spirit of the Medes. All right, Lord willing, this lesson to edify and serve the purpose for the hope of elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Shemel Shai. With that, like say, call Halayim, like Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harikah Kodash, my mouth. Double honors to the elder apostle, the great millstone, and double honors to our elder apostle as well, our Herawan, Ban Yashar, all down here in the lines of the camp. Salutations to the argument that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Shalom.